We look at what we call our SERM, standardized excess return, and that's really just a fancy way to say a longer-term alpha generation model, right? In other words, we're looking at how much alpha has been generated for the sector, in this case healthcare, over the last 3 to 5 years. And if we compare that to the sector since the 1960s, we've got singularly the worst alpha generation we've ever seen, right? And that's capital markets. It's gonna result in bankruptcies. It's gonna result in M&A, everything else. Okay, so that's the contrarian. That unless you believe that these things are going to zero as a sector, which doesn't happen, that's not going to happen. Then we wait for momentum. We wait for trends. We wait for momentum to confirm that, and that's where we lean into it. We did it with China about a year ago. We're doing it with healthcare now.
I mean, I look, this is so important, folks. This goes back to Ed Hyman. This goes back to John Murphy, the melding of this, of Neil Dutta's economics, Jeff deGraaf's, I'm going to call it technical bias, and then over to fundamental analysis is the religion here. Okay, so you're there, but value investing is basically cratered and only does well given down markets. We haven't had a down market. Is your tone at the shop growthiness, or is it a value search?
No, it is. We will take what the market gives us. I mean, we will go with the hot hand.
What's the market giving you right now?
The market is giving you growth. It's giving you. It's not giving you value. It's giving you beta, but we think beta is actually stretched, and we actually believe that the market is going to transition from beta at any price and transition that into momentum. And that'll be an interesting play because that's usually what happens, and that's where you get into the final stages of a bull market, and we're not there yet.
Neil, you've been talking a lot this morning about labor. How does the change in immigration policy affect kind of the analysis of the labor market here? Because there was a lot of folks coming into this country, taking a lot of jobs, and they're not coming in anymore.
I mean, I personally think that's more of a red herring, honestly. Okay. I mean, to me, it's interesting because we're talking about how break-even rates on employment have come down, meaning what do you need to keep the unemployment rate flat? Precisely at the time where the unemployment rate's been actually rising a little bit more rapidly than it has in the, over the last year or so. It's up basically. Had the September data been released, it probably would have been up 3 months in a row by a tenth. So, yeah, I mean, the break-even rate has come down, but it hasn't come down enough to keep the unemployment rate from going up in the first place. And, that to me is what's important. And if you look at, these areas of the economy that are sensitive to immigration, you don't really see upward wage pressure in construction employment, in sort of, sanitation, these sort of sectors where there's a lot of low-skilled work. So I don't know. I mean, I think to me, it's a bit of a red herring. And of course, look at what people are saying about like job finding rates. They're telling you it's getting more difficult to find work. Right. And when consumers tell you labor markets are getting worse, I think it pays to believe them.
I'm hearing this from listeners and viewers as well. So Neil Dutt, I asked this of Waller. Let me ask it of you. Are we so polarized in our John Edwards two Americas that we literally have to operate with a study of two R-stars, the haves and the have-nots? Are we that separate now where aggregation of data doesn't work?
Well, I don't believe so. I mean, I think ultimately, all of these things will kind of net out over time. I mean, what you're talking about basically is this sort of K-shaped economy, right? Like this idea that the upper income. I mean, and that's a huge source of pushback that I get in our own client meetings, right?
Did you just throw a tape dispenser at him when he says K-shaped?
we usually mud wrestle for the
K-shaped. I hear K. Remember V-shaped?
Yeah, I do.
I remember V-shaped, Tom.
And the W. I remember the W.
We got to come back with you. Jeff deGraaf, let's keep it clean. We're on Radio Worldwide with a license. This is the biggest amount of BS I've ever heard. What in God's name to Jeff deGraaf is K-shaped?
I have no idea.
Okay, we'll leave it there.